That is. That could be the podcast.
We're trying to talk here, but nobody's
No
listening.
one's listening. Give it time.
We will. And hello, and welcome to the LAArtist Podcast, the LAArtist Podcast. Today we have our co-host, Andrew Rano,
Ew.
and the amazing Miranda Morehouse.
Hi.
I am your host, Mr. David Rano.
That's a
Yeah.
jingle for another one, but we'll add another
Yeah.
jingle to it.
Got it.
I just like that jingle.
And so welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully it wasn't too much of a drive coming from the Redland.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, being on a Saturday morning, I think it was.
I thought it was going to be a lot better. So I was like, oh, it'll take like an hour. And then everybody else decided to drive out here today too, I guess. So
I mean, have you seen outside? It's really nice.
it's really nice today.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Hence why we're inside.
Exactly.
It's too nice.
Close the doors.
It's
scared.
like
It's too
literally no windows.
Yeah.
No windows whatsoever, unless we paint them on the walls.
There you go.
And so we've met at Redlands show last year.
Yeah, it was in October.
Yeah, it was like
we
a
did the
couple months
Redlands
ago.
Art Walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we were fascinated with your art. It was an amazing landscapes with like a little impressionistic style.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Yeah. Thank you.
What got you started in doing like that style? Like, what would you call it, or what is behind the painting?
I mean, I think I grew up in the desert in these like wide, vast open landscapes. And I think I would just keep trying to get back to that place of like I love nature. I love going on adventures, hikes and things, and just appreciating the beauty of the places that you're in. And so it's just my way of like capturing those little moments and creating mementos, I guess.
I like that. And
Yeah.
what medium do you use for the most part?
Mostly acrylic. I started off with like watercolor stuff, and that was fun, but not quite it. And then when I switched to acrylic, it just really took off, where I was like, okay, now I can paint what I'm envisioning a little bit better. And so, yeah, that's been happening for
Have you tried doing them in oils?
Not really. I know. We should talk about that. So
Because I was even gonna go on the other side, oil pastel.
I'm curious about pastels. Yes, I want to get some and try it for sure. But acrylic's just easy, and I'm a chaotic painter, I'll say, like not very patient. So trying to paint with oils, I took an oil painting class and was like, cool, like I'm smudging it, it's everywhere. I'm really like not waiting for it to dry.
Yeah.
So me and oil, like traditional oil painting, we just weren't a good match that way.
You don't want to wait for a cad red, no, not a crimson red to dry in like 6 months.
No, yeah, it wasn't working for me. So I like that the acrylic stuff dries really fast, but at the same time, there's kind of this like, oh, oil painting's really nice. And so I don't know, I go back and forth of like, should I experiment a little more?
Well, if you do go with oils, I've used this medium called liquid. And that helps it dry.
Yeah.
That speeds up the dry.
Yeah, like
process.
an additive type thing.
Yeah. I think most like if you're using like thin layers of paint, it'll dry within 24 hours.
Okay.
And then just continue the next day.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just that I've heard that it kind of like it messes with some of the colors, so some colors may not be as bright as you want them.
Yeah.
But if I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I just wanted the paint to dry so I could finish it and sell it.
Totally relatable. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll try it.
And what got you into painting, or like what started it all?
Well, it's a long story. But
we got 3 hours.
we got 3 hours.
That makes it a 3-episode podcast.
So like, where do I start? So we'll say I've really been painting with the acrylics over like the last year, but before that, I just kind of would dabble in watercolor. I was working as a massage therapist for the last 10 years, and that took up all my time because I owned my own business. So it was like your free time is working on the business and then, going on adventures and stuff. So you didn't have enough time to really build the skill of like, I want to paint. And because every time I would paint, it would be not very good because I didn't dedicate any time towards it. So it was just like, a watercolor here and there, like on a camping trip sort of thing. And then we all remember the year 2020, right?
Refresh me a little bit.
Yeah, worldwide pandemic. So there were a couple things going on in my personal life at that moment where like we had the worldwide pandemic. So I had to close my massage business, and I'm living in Portland at the time. And then my husband, he's in medical school and then was in the transition into residency over that year. And so in like March 2020, when the world's closing down, he gets a letter in the mail that's like, hey, your residency is going to be in Long Island, New York, Stony Brook, New York, Whoa. Long Island. And so it's like, cool, we're going to move there now and just try to figure it out. So in that transition of being in Long Island, I had just like essentially lost my identity as a massage therapist, lost my identity as like a West Coaster and all my friends. And then we're also in the pandemic. So like I'm in this place, there's not any like hiking, fun stuff to do. Like I'm outdoorsy. I like to go explore.
You could go up and down flights of stairs.
You got it, man. That's pretty much it. Like anytime you'd go outside, you'd like get a tick on you. Like ticks are wild out there. Like it's an issue. Wear long socks if you ever go out there. But so yeah, I just was feeling super lost and didn't know what to do with my time. And then I had an iPad, so I downloaded the Procreate app, and that was kind of the beginning of like making art on a regular basis. And it was a very safe container because the Procreate app, you like draw something, you don't like it, you erase it. Like there is no waste of material or like making a mess. It's just such a safe container to like try to.
But making a mess is so fun.
I love it now. But like at the time, it was definitely a barrier to creativity. Yeah. And then, when you're limited on time and stuff. So that was like step one of like, oh, okay, I'm trying out art and being creative. And then my dad got sick back on the West Coast, and he's a little bit older anyway. So like having an older dad growing up, I always like knew this day would come, like he's going to get sick, like he will die one day. And then, so I had the luxury of time at the moment. So I flew back, took care of him, and he was put on hospice care. And so I was his caregiver during that time. And it was like 2 months of caretaking. And then after he passed away, I'm like, okay, now there's a whole new level of grief and loss that I'm experiencing. And so when I went back to the East Coast, it was just like, what am I doing? How like each day was just, well, honestly, my mantra became one day at a time. And it was literally like, okay, just gotta like make it through today. What are you gonna do? And so I started painting and getting more into that like watercolor, like hands on the paint instead of the digital stuff as much. And then I did 100-day project of like every single day I'm painting and I'm creating. And that really was the foundation of like, okay, I like making art and it's really therapeutic and it's helping me process all of this grief without like really process. Like I processed it, but not like, hey, I'm going to paint today to process my grief. It just kind of married each other in this really nice way. And then, 4 or 5 months later, like I'm done with my project and I was like, cool, now I want to like keep painting. And I feel like I built that confidence in my skill a little bit. And so then it was like, okay, now I want like, what do you actually want to be making? And that's where I started to like play around with like, okay, let's try this landscape or let's try this, And so I guess that was like the foundation of like all this bad stuff happened. And then out of that was this really cool, amazing art skill that like, I don't know if it would have happened without like the combination of pandemic, moving across the country, and then my dad dying. So it kind of worked out.
That's and
the power of art.
Yeah, for real.
The journey, literal journey of an artist,
For sure.
And how you problem solve, how you cope with situations, and just never giving up. I feel like
the resilience, right? Yeah. So, and not to say like making art was easy. There was tons of like, this isn't working out. It doesn't look how I want. But I think just having that to focus on while I was going through a hard time was a good distraction, right? It's like, okay, how does color theory work? What happens like when you mix orange and yellow, right? Or red.
You get blello. Wait, what?
Blello. But yeah.
That's really cool. And were there like inspiration from other artists that helped you like maintain or get better while you were doing the process?
Oh yeah, definitely. And continuously, like still, I'm always inspired by what other people are making. And at the beginning, I think it's almost like this hindrance because you're comparing yourself so much and you're like, I want to make art like so-and-so. But now I can appreciate like my art, my progress, and also somebody else's work, and that we're different. But yeah, I love a lot of like the landscape painters. I really love the impressionist stuff, like Erin Hansen, if you guys are familiar. She like does really cool, colorful landscape impressionist art that you're like close up, you're like, that's a chaotic mess. And then when you zoom out, you're like, that's a gorgeous masterpiece. And I really like that aspect of impressionism. So
very cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool. Yeah, and then like even with that, like I was going through your website because again, I have to do my research. You also put on your website that you strive to artfully bring the outdoors inside. And,
why not?
We can definitely see that with some of your landscapes.
All you audio listeners out there, there's paintings here.
Yeah. So feel free to check our posts and our page. We will have a photo of some of her artwork. Also check out Lorano Gallery. We have some of her artwork there too, and a lot of it is literal outside stuff that you can put inside.
Yeah, it's pretty literal.
Like, and because like here we have 1, 2, 3, like what 12 small miniature paintings that she does. Most of them are 4x4 inches, and of what would be the like the high desert, or they're all desert theme as far as this series goes, and with a lot of cacti, mountain ranges. I love the skies that she does.
The skies are my favorite. Yeah. Thank you.
Part of the reason why I bought the one that I bought from you.
Yeah.
Like the textures and the colors of the sky looks so cool.
That's pretty fun. Thank you.
So cool.
Yeah. I love it.
So these that you brought today, they're all miniatures. What's the biggest painting you've done?
The biggest painting I've done was like 36 by 36 inches. And so that was very exciting and really fun. And I want to do more of that this year. The miniature ones are like easy. You just kind of whip them out, right?
They're so fun to do miniatures.
I love it. So you can do like a lot, but the bigger paintings obviously take a little more time. So no,
it takes up the same amount of time to do a small one and a big.
Does it? Okay.
Well, if you do it on Procreate, you just zoom in.
There you go.
Have you tried doing them on like odd shapes like 4x12, like the ones you see over there?
I haven't tried that yet, but I want to.
Like vertical.
Yes, I really want to do.
Skies.
Yes, I want to. I want to.
So cool.
Yeah, I've pretty much just worked with like the square canvas at this point, but the vertical with the big sky. I'm super drawn to the sky. I think because growing up in Central Oregon, it's like flat desert land, and then these giant, beautiful skies that are just beautiful colors and
then
clouds.
go for like a 12 by 36.
Yeah.
Like just a bunch of sky.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Go, nice. No, go for a 12 by 72.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's on my to-do list.
It's like, let us know. We have canvases that size. Those are all hand-stretched canvases.
Right.
Little self-promotion here.
Okay.
We make canvases as well.
Yeah, but don't order any because they're for me.
Yeah, they're for artists.
They're just for me.
And and you mentioned you went from using Procreate to using watercolors, and then now you're using acrylics. Was there like techniques that you had to overcome that you remember were like, oh, I was having trouble with this, but it was easier on Procreate, or was it something that you found easier on one medium over the other?
Yeah, watercolor was always challenging to me. Like I felt like I never really got what I wanted to make out of that. Like back to me feeling like an impatient artist, right? Like I feel like watercolor has a mind of its own and you just like have to let the watercolor do the painting. And I'm like, no, I want you to go over here. So that was always a challenge with me. And then the Procreate stuff is just the challenge of learning some technology. Like how do you change the settings on the app and the pencil and the stuff? And so yeah, but also like I said before, it's such an easy learning curve because if you don't like the color of something, you just swap it out for a different color. Yeah. Like, and I think that built a lot of confidence in learning like, oh, what colors are working together? What do I like? And then trying to transfer that to the watercolor was hard because watercolors are very like, it dries a different color than what you're initially putting on.
Yeah, you gotta work with layers.
Yeah. Now just
gotta learn the dab technique to bring back some of the color.
Yeah,
it's like if you had too much color, it's like, oh, I want lighter. Bring it back.
Totally. Yeah. So that was always kind of like, oh, I don't know what's happening. But then when I started using the acrylic paint, I didn't really find a ton of challenge there. It was super just like came out very naturally, and probably because I spent so much time trying to figure out watercolor that when you're like, oh, I have like this thick, wonderful consistency to work with and just put it where I want, it worked out well.
Yeah, I feel like acrylic, using Procreate as an example, like you can see how everything is layers. And on Procreate, same thing with Photoshop and Illustrator and some of the other digital programs. You're working with layers. And so it's like, you don't like it? Okay, just put something else on top of it.
Yeah. And it's very, very fun.
Makes it a little easier. And then, so you also had a post recently that you started using a pink base for your skies. Yeah. Which traditionally a sky is blue.
Right.
I've only seen one other artist do like a pink undercoat. For their paintings.
And you mentioned who the artist was. Let's see if it's the same one.
Anissa Asakawa. Do you know her?
No.
She's awesome. She's a Portland-based artist, and she does a lot of like landscapes. And she does this really cool texture on her artwork too, where she'll kind of do the pink base, and then she'll put in like a mountain or something, and then she used to be a cake decorator, and so then she would take like cake decorating tools and like paint these big, beautiful like flowers and put texture at the like initial layer. It was so cool. And that honestly, she's one of the artists that I saw like years and years ago where I was like, wow, I would love to paint like that one day, so she definitely is like one of the first people to really inspire that in me. And so, yeah, I definitely was like, I'll paint a pink background too and see what happens.
Nice.
So yeah, that's cool. Who's the artist who does that?
Forget her last name, but her name is Andrea I think it's Garzette or something like that. Yeah, she does just pink backgrounds and then just paints over that. Yeah, Andrea Guzetta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Cool. Again, for the audio listeners,
take a look at this. Audio listeners, we're watching.
We're passing around a phone with her Instagram, which again,
Andrea Guzetta.
We'll put links on the description as for all these artists, amazing artists that have inspired everyone. And but yeah, so what's it like using the pink as the base for the skies?
The thing I really like about it is if you're intimidated by a blank canvas, you are just painting the background. So you're like, cool, there's already paint on it. So it's kind of that barrier of like, where do I start? You're like, I just did it. Like I've got a background, I'm done. So then it's easier to like paint more layers on top of it. And then I do like how it kind of like you can see on some of these paintings where you can bring these pink layers kind of out through the blues. And so it just gives you a different layer when you're painting, especially like a big sunrise or sunset situation. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because like having that technique kind of reminds me, again, Bob Ross, where he would paint the sky black.
A hero.
And then bring all the clouds back on, and it's like, oh, it's actually daylight.
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah,
starting
but
off
he's
with
a
black.
wizard. That doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
like
again, but
It's like he'll paint the background black and then he'll go in with the titanium white and then out of nowhere there's like blues.
Yeah.
It's like when did
Yeah.
you use blue?
how did he
I
do
thought it was
it?
black.
It's the dirty brush when he does.
Like he doesn't beat the devil out of it.
Yeah,
There's
when he
still a little
doesn't-
devil in the brush.
Yeah, little colors here and there. Oh, and then speaking of brushes, do you use like a myriad of brushes? New word of the day.
Yes.
Or do you,
Or is it a plethora of brushes?
or is it a plethora of brushes?
It's a variety of brushes, really. Yeah, there's a whole collection of like the cheapy ones where you just squish them around, and then there's like a couple of the long fancy ones where you can play around.
You hold
and-
it all in the
to
back.
do these Joshua
Exactly.
Tree ones.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm figuring it out. I'm still trying to find like I have a really bad habit of leaving my brushes in the paint water and then
yeah.
they get all I
Yeah.
know, I see that face. Like that's not a good habit. So I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
I
break
do
myself
the same thing.
Yeah.
of
It's
that.
Like I have some that are like only like a eighth of an inch of the brush is actually
Clean.
Yeah.
usable. Everything else is just like
Squished.
it's just
mess.
all plastic with acrylic.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm right there with you.
I
So you
know.
use like mid-level brushes
Yeah.
because of
I know
that
that
habit.
they're just gonna get trashed anyway. So
I mean, it looks good though.
it works.
It works.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like some high level like expensive brushes. I was like
No.
that just for show.
Yeah, I have like one nice brush that like if I'm trying to do little details and stuff, and I treat that one like the queen that she is, you know. So just my special brush, and the
Nice.
rest are just the helpers.
I have two very nice brushes, and I use the third not so nice brush so that I don't have to dirty the two nice brushes.
Exactly.
Yeah. As that happens, like I do the same thing even with pens. Like I'll have like, oh, I really love these pens, but I'm gonna write notes, so I'm gonna just use this other crappy one.
Yeah.
Or
Save
I'm gonna
the
do a
nice
sketch.
pen.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna use this. I don't want to mess up the new ones.
No, I use all the pens, all the pencils.
Yeah.
Just save the brushes.
Save the brushes, and then by saving the brushes, we're gonna transition over to our traditional quick and A.
Quick and A.
A
Okay.
little quick and A. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
These are very, very tough questions
All right.
that you either get right or you will get right.
Okay.
So it's one or the other.
Perfect. Can
And
do this.
there will be a grading. And again, audience members, if you want to give us a grade, hopefully it's above a C minus minimum. But so are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
So first and foremost, are what's becoming our traditional starting question: pen or pencil?
Ooh, pencil.
Lead pencil or traditional pencil?
Traditional.
What's your favorite hardness of pencil?
That I'm not qualified to answer. Like that's like
Look,
the
use that-
2B
the
or whatever.
The number two pencil that we use at school.
Exactly.
That one.
Just
Alright,
the
yeah.
normal.
Just the
Yeah.
normal pencil.
Yeah.
Well, the normal number 2 pencil is
It's a B2. Yeah.
is it a B2? I thought it was an HB.
Honestly, something a little soft that leaves a kind of like a charcoaly smudgy. I like that.
All right.
So yeah, so a 2B is a good one.
Okay.
A 2B plus.
2B plus.
Anything.
Yeah, like I
Anything
go
higher than 2B is like very, very soft.
yeah, I go all the way to 6B.
Oh my
not
goodness.
necessarily 9B, which is kind of crumbled as a thing, but 6B, the good middle.
Yeah, but it's so messy. Well, when I don't know about you, but when I draw, I put my hand on the paper.
Yeah, the whole.
Yeah, and it
hand
just
is-
messes
yep.
the whole thing.
That adds to the character. That the
See, that's why I go harder pencils, like
Mm.
closer to like H3, H4.
Yeah,
It's less messy on paper.
true.
yeah, especially for
still-
sketches.
Yeah.
Like I go all the way to plastic because I use Procreate as well.
Plastic
for
on screen.
plastic on screen. Favorite medium?
Right now, acrylic. It's working for me.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Favorite shape?
Shape, circle.
Circle.
I don't know.
Just the first thing that-
First thing that just pops into your
Yeah.
mind. Favorite brush? So there's round, flat, bright, filbert, mop, liner or fan brush?
That filbert brush. I
The
like
filbert
that
brush?
one.
We got somebody who loves the
Yeah.
filbert.
Do people not like the filbert?
I mean, the flat brush is the same thing.
Yeah, but it's got the little curve to it.
Yeah, but if you use a flat brush, you can make it into a little curved thing.
Yeah.
You see, you get the flat brush, put it on its side, boom, filbert.
All right, I need to expand my horizons.
Buy filbert. Buy the
It's
a number 8 filbert.
it's a good
On your number 8 filbert on the tiny paintings.
See?
Yeah, good for mountains.
What's your drink of choice while you're painting or you're making art?
Oh, like coffee, honestly.
Coffee.
Yeah. Some water, maybe.
On some Smog City cups.
Yeah.
Smog City merch.
Not sponsored yet, but people that we like.
Yeah. Do you ever dip your brush
Every
into your
time.
coffee?
I know what you're going to ask before you even say it. Way
Wait,
more when I was
ju-
doing watercolor.
Oh, I was about to
Way
say, you
more.
dip your acrylic brushes
No.
onto the
No, it does not happen anymore. But yeah, when I was doing the watercolor, it was
Oh.
like every time.
I think the paintings are better when you dip your brush on.
The
coffee.
paintings probably are. The coffee
Yeah.
is not better though
Oh.
when you have
Oh,
paint in the coffee.
As an artist, it's all about the painting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Naturally.
Like some of us artists don't care what our intake is. We drink art.
Fueled
Yeah.
by creativity.
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah. Technically, it's non-toxic. Well, I can't really say that for sure. It's
We buy the non-toxic
Yeah.
yeah.
because we know ourselves.
Most color used.
Blue.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Something about the sky, probably.
I think it's the mountains. Blue mountains.
Specific color used. Do you know the name of the blue that you use?
It's just like the regular blue, and then I mix it with like whites and pinks and stuff.
Regular
know.
blue.
Regular blue, yeah.
What brand of paints do you use?
Golden.
Golden.
Okay, so the golden
the-
It's like
regular blue.
is
The
it
regular
phthalo blue? I think it's phthalo blue. Is that it?
I mean phthalo blue.
yeah.
I love phthalo blue because it has like a greenish tint
Yeah.
underneath it. So yeah, I like it.
yeah, I could see phthalo blue on some of your paintings.
They get mixed a lot
Yeah.
though. Like I don't really use like pure colors. It's just
Yeah,
like
no,
this
it's just-
mixed with that, and then it's just the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
The blues,
the blues.
the phthalos.
It's blue of the phthalos. Your favorite old master? If you have one.
Monet is an easy one to pick, right? The Impressionist stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Okay.
Final answer.
Final
Yeah.
answer?
Final answer. Locked in
For today.
Locked in.
Hope that was the right one.
Oh, we'll find out after the show.
Exactly.
On the post show or the after
Are
show.
you sure you're not confusing it with mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise.
No, with mayonnaise.
Yes. No,
The other white artist.
Yeah, it was very thick on his brushes. Yeah.
I mean, if you see Monet's beard,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some mayonnaise got cut up in it.
Definitely.
That's why it stayed nice and like white and thick.
Okay. So and then here are a couple, probably outside your wheelhouse, but it's still fun to ask.
Okay.
RGB or CMYK?
RGB.
Why?
I think.
Easier to say
Yeah, it's just the first option.
because I don't remember the other 3 letters.
Yeah, it sounds like RBG, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's just opposite, you know.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Crayola or rose art?
Crayola?
Have you ever used rose art?
I don't think so.
Nice. Good.
Rose art is like we would get it at Denny's.
Okay,
Those
so
are the Denny's
I picked
crayons.
right there. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
perfect.
Yes, you got it correct.
Cats, dogs, or exotic pets?
All of the above.
No, you got to pick one.
You gotta pick one.
There's no fourth. There's no fourth answer.
Okay, fine.
Because there is technically a right answer.
Well, then dogs.
Oh, that's wrong.
That's wrong. you should have gone with the exotic pets because that includes dogs and cats.
Oh, really?
Because they're pets.
Well, fine. Then I changed my answer to the
No, you-
exotic
No
pets.
take backs.
No take backs. You already said
take backs.
dogs instead of cats and exotic pets.
All right.
No, dogs are cool.
Yeah, dogs are all right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a cat person.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
But-
we don't like taking care of things.
Yeah.
So that's why we prefer cats.
Dude, cats really are on their own journey.
Mm.
Yeah. They're just roommates.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest sale?
My biggest sale?
Yeah.
Like the thing I've sold that cost the most?
Yeah.
I did a painting of the Painted Hills in Oregon. That was my 36 by 36 painting.
Ooh.
So you make bigger stuff, you can price it
Nice.
higher. So that's the one so far.
Nice. That's so cool.
Do you have photos of it on your site?
I do.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna link it in the description
Link.
so you can see it.
Yeah. But you can't buy it. It's already sold.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
you
but
could,
we still want to. We still want to see it.
you could send her like a $10 to go look at it
Yeah.
on her Instagram or on her website,
Yeah,
wherever she
just
has
come
it.
take a
just,
look.
just Venmo her $10 and then look at it.
What show are you obsessed about right now?
I think I'm gonna get obsessed with that, like the Two of Us or the Each of Us or something.
Oh, The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, we watched the first episode of that, and
I
I was
haven't
like,
seen it
I want to
yet.
watch the rest of them.
I've seen a lot of the gameplay because I heard that like game wise it was like a really really good story.
Yeah,
And now the TV show, like the actors that are in it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It seems
the
legit.
Mandalorian is in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love Mando.
And then what's her face from
Baby Yoda's gonna be in there somewhere.
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
The little girl.
The girl.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. She was.
Don't know her name, but yeah, she
She was good in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah.
And favorite song or type of music while you're painting?
It varies. Like, I can't pick a favorite song. Like, it just depends on my mood. Like, I have the rural Western background, so I will oscillate between like old Western, like Marty Robbin music, to like, I am a product of the Spice Girls as well, so it's like all over the
So
place.
spicy
It's-
Western.
Yes.
Spicy Western.
Yeah, not spaghetti Western. It's a spicy Western.
It's a spicy Western.
Yeah. But yeah, a little bit of everything there.
I can dig that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, so that will conclude our quick Q&A. Our cucumbers and A's. And so I would say you got a solid B+.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
I
Just because
think-
you chose dogs.
The dogs
Yeah.
and
The
the
dog-
mayonnaise
and
comment
the
probably
mayonnaise
brought me
comment.
down. Okay.
No, the mayonnaise went up.
Oh, really?
Because it was funny.
Oh.
The dogs are like, nah. The exotic pet covers both.
Well, it was a
Cat
trick
food.
question.
What dogs do you like?
All
What
dogs.
breed? A breed in particular.
I have a mini Australian
How dare-
Shepherd.
no,
And
I
you
don't
don't, and you
know.
don't like that
I
type that breed.
love her.
Oh,
I
okay.
love all of them. They're all great. But yeah, April, the mini Australian Shepherd, she has her own Instagram. We can
Oh,
link in the bio
nice.
if you want
Yes.
to. And then I have another dog, Rio, who is just like this mix. I don't really know what she is. So, but she's cute.
Nice.
4
Yeah.
legs,
4 legs,
2 eyes.
Two eyes.
Four-legged
Okay.
dog.
big heart, you know.
Yeah.
We love them.
Well, I don't know if big heart is a good thing.
No, she's
But
perfect.
Normal size heart.
normal size
Yeah.
heart.
No.
That's cool. So now we're gonna transition over to a quick word from our sponsor.
Hey, sponsor. Thank you for sponsoring.
Why are we staring? Okay, and then we'll cut it there and do whatever. And
We used to have a husky in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little hot down there for
It's a-
huskies.
Well, I mean, it's during summer. It got pretty hot, so we like what's it called? We groomed him.
Oh yeah.
And hose them down every day. Every day,
Aw.
he'd love like the water
Yeah.
and all that. And then as soon as he was done like playing in the water, he'll go outside and just roll in the
Yeah.
dirt.
Aw.
It's like, all right.
Yep.
like, thanks for nothing.
But in winter he loved it because it's high desert.
Yeah.
So it got really
Nice and
cold.
cold,
Like he
yeah.
was like nice and fluffy and all that. It's like, oh,
Cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun times.
Aw, I love them.
Yeah, but we did have to make sure like his nose, like when we saw that his nose was getting a little bit dry, we're like, oh, he needs to be
Need some
watered
sunscreen.
down, watered down.
Yeah.
Get out of the sun.
Yeah, dude. Same for me though. Need to hide from the sun.
Your nose gets dry.
It
That's
gets
how
a
you can
little
tell.
dry.
That's how you
Yeah,
can tell.
that's how I know. You go jump in the water and then roll around in the dirt.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm just making sure that worked.
It worked.
Does it work?
We were recording.
Were we not recording?
Yeah, no, this is just an extra thingamajig. The one that.
I don't think we were recording. Can we do this whole conversation
Do it
over
all
again?
over. Hopefully I answer right the next time.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. If you say cats, that gives you an A+.
Same intonation.
Intonation. Or intonation.
Inflection.
But yeah, okay. So you ready? Just wanted to double check on that thing. You ready?
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask me? I'm not ready.
Well, yeah, I don't want you to be ready.
You're warm enough.
Oh, actually, yes. Feels nice. Last time I had the heater a little bit closer. It
Too
was
close.
Like, oh, it burns.
Burning.
Like even I was burning. But yeah, thank you, sponsor, for sponsoring this episode.
Hey, welcome back.
Yes, we like that sponsor. That sponsor's pretty cool.
It was very tasty. Very, very tasty.
Well, most likely it's gonna be a product, not a food, but
That product was very tasty.
taste test for everything. But yeah, so one of the things that we want to do with this podcast is showcase the artist journey, like talk about like that in particular, because everyone talks about like, oh, okay, the style or the influence, but I also want to include the person.
Mm-hmm.
So today, where would you say you are in your artist journey?
I still feel very much at the beginning, and especially now that art has become such a big part of my life that I just foresee doing it forever, like for the rest of my life. So I still have a long ways to go. So yeah, we're kind of here at the beginning.
Do you see yourself continue making these desert landscapes, or would you transition into like jungle landscapes?
I don't know what the future holds, but I really love like the desert, and I love a lot of the Southwest art with like more cowboy kind of themes and stuff. Like I want to bring some of that into the picture too.
Add little skulls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hidden in the
Yeah.
desert.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah, because I feel like, again, even though Oregon is not the South, but it is the West.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have a lot of Western traits to it, especially the landscapes and whatnot.
It's Canada's Southwest.
Yeah, southwest of Canada.
There you go.
Yeah, that counts.
It depends on your perspective.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, that counts. And so, because we talked about like you have a lot of miniatures, you've done some bigger pieces. So, getting bigger canvases, is that another goal that you want to do as far as
totally
like,
yes
practice that?
Want to start painting bigger. Yeah, because I feel like I've dialed in these little scenes, and so yeah, I just want to expand on that, paint bigger. And
do you have the brushes for the bigger paintings? Or
I
are you
have
gonna
a
use,
couple. No, I'm
gonna
not.
use tiny brushes.
Just little tiny.
Okay.
No, I mean it could. That might be interesting.
mean-
We'll see. Okay, you just gave me an
I
idea.
mean, yeah.
But I also am impatient, as we've talked about, so
Yeah,
it's probably not
it'll
going to work
take,
out.
It'll take a while to fill the.
Well, but at the same
canvas.
time, like some of the old masters always like just one dab at a time, just like
Yeah,
one
A la
color.
Van Gogh.
A la Van Gogh.
never heard of him.
You never heard
I'm
of
kidding.
Ala?
It's a
You
joke.
never heard of a la Van Gogh?
A la Van Gogh.
Yeah, he was the god Van Gogh.
Okay, yeah, I actually didn't know that guy.
So, it's from an alternate universe where he didn't cut his
Ear off. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He cut his nose off.
Oops.
he got and again, and speaking of painting bigger, what kind of canvases or what kind of materials do you plan on painting on? Like, because again, obviously canvases. You've done watercolor, so it'd be like watercolor paper.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what about big watercolor paintings?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm there.
You
No, I think I've kind
You
of
don't want
given
to go
up.
back?
No, I did like a small watercolor the other day. I was like, oh wow, it's so much better than I was before, but it's still not like, I like the thick texture of like the paint. Like
Yeah.
you just can't I cannot get that with watercolor. I like the texture.
I gotta show you later the art of one of our friends, Jeff Pasquale. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of anime art, but it's all watercolors.
Oh, cool.
It's and right now he's working on a series of painting. I think it's 24 by 36 size painting, and it's a collage of like anime characters on this whole giant thing.
Yeah.
And
cool.
it's just the way that he kind of like controls and doesn't control the watercolor.
Okay.
It's just
show me.
he just takes it to another level.
Yeah, because techniques, fundamentals.
True.
Yeah, because have you studied watercolor before, or is just on your own?
No, just YouTube. You know?
Yeah, YouTube University.
Yeah,
exactly.
YouTube University.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just tricky to like. Watercolor is a tricky medium to use.
Yeah.
Because we all feel like we want to have control, but you can't control watercolors. You gotta let it go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Somehow this guy like he's mastered that.
Nice, dude. I love it.
So another artist to be inspired, just to go back to watercolors one day.
Yeah. No. One of my friends, Bryn Merrill, you can link her. She does really awesome watercolor stuff and a lot of like mountains and landscape type stuff too. But there are people who like watercolor is their thing, and they should definitely do that. I am not gonna force it.
It's like I'll get there when I get there, maybe.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's this still the beginning of your journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any medium that you want to master besides acrylic? Which
we talked earlier, but like the oil painting is definitely a curiosity to me. So I'm curious to explore that maybe. But
do you want to go outside of painting and like sculpting or building your own canvases for your art or murals?
Murals seem cool. They seem like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I have some like funny little collage ideas that I haven't put into work yet, but that seems fun too. Just taking things apart, putting it back together.
What about spray paint?
Oh yeah, spray paint.
I'm not careful enough to be like with spray paint,
All you need to do is just make sure you have your respirator.
Yeah, that's the piece.
And maybe some goggles, and then just go wild.
Go wild. Yeah.
If you ever want to do spray painting, we have a spray painting wall.
Okay. Never say never. I'm open to whatever happens.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that as far as the gallery goes, we're trying to like do more workshop-y stuff, and just get together with other artists and just essentially talk about the podcast, and or what we talk about here is like, what do you like that you do good, and then like I may not know how to do it, like, oh, can I learn from you, and vice versa. And like with that in mind, do you have any tips, or what tip would you give a starting artist or someone who wants to get into it?
Yeah, well, since I'm not that far from a starting artist, I think that when you begin, just incorporate some kind of practice every day, because the more you do something, the better you're going to get. And so like the distance between like when I used to just do like hobby art where I'd like paint once every couple months, like of course there was no progress there. And then when I moved to Long Island and I was painting every day, there's huge progress. So I would just say make it a daily habit, and it doesn't matter like what you're painting, what you're working on, just like be creative every single day, and you'll grow on that, and you'll discover like more about your process and what you like doing.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. For some reason, I think we have a pattern. Because again, you mentioned, daily habit, incorporating practice on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Daily preferably.
Move to Long Island.
Don't do it.
You move to Long Island. That's the key thing. You have to move away.
Specifically to Long Island.
Specifically to Long Island. We're not getting sponsored by Long Island, but Long Island, if you want to give us a couple pointers.
I like your iced teas.
You have great bagels.
Yeah.
Great bagels.
Yeah, because a couple of the other artists mentioned something similar on just creating art, or doing what you love to do before you do somebody else's art or whatnot.
It took forever for that to like really hit me and sink in. Like you have to do it every day. That's the point of practice. Like I like basketball, and there's like NBA players, they're in there shooting their free throws every single day. They're always practicing. And so if you're going to get better, you have to practice your free throws. Yeah. And it's the same with art. Like you have to keep practicing drawing stuff that's boring or whatever, but you just got to put in the time.
And I feel like even like a little bit more onto that point of like people are not going to see you practice. So there is no luxury or fame in practicing. It was like you have to do it for yourself.
Totally.
Like you're gonna be in your room drawing every day, and the sketches, they might not be great, but practice. Then you do a piece, and then people will see that one piece and be like, "Oh, you did this in like 20 minutes." Like, no, it's like I did this in a day or whatever, but it took 6 months of practice to get to that point.
Yeah. So now, because a lot of people, they ask like, "Oh, how long did it take you to do this painting?"
Yeah.
Now we say it's like, "Oh, it took me like years."
Right.
Yeah.
It took me my whole life to do it. Yeah. I forget. There's some artist that was like quoted saying that too.
Picasso.
Like, was it Picasso?
Yeah, Picasso. Because Picasso drew it like on a napkin for somebody.
Yes, this is the story.
And then he was like, "Oh, that's X amount of thousands of whatever." It's like,
and she's like, "Oh, it took you 5 minutes. Why?" And he's like, "It took my whole life." Right? Yeah.
50 years to do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
give me my money, or give me back my napkin.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like
that was the exact quote.
Yeah. And like these kind of topics is what I want like the new generation of artists to understand, especially in this time where everything is quick. The time span is really quick, so people don't want to practice. They want it right now. Like, dude, practice makes you better.
Yeah.
And don't expect people to see you practicing. Like just do it on your own, and then you'll get better, and then you can show your accomplishment.
Or become a practice Twitch streamer. Just make your whole channel about practicing.
Yeah.
And then you
don't get better though.
Yeah.
Just practice.
Yeah, just practice. Don't get no.
It's like, when are you gonna make your like final piece? Oh, this is in the final piece channel. This is a practice channel.
Just practicing.
Well, yeah, and even at that, like whether it be Twitch or even like this podcast, like we're still in the starting episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, we're just practicing.
We're practicing to be able to have hundreds of episodes down the line.
You see, that's why you can't see this, because we're practicing.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you go to our website where you can see some behind the scenes footage. Plug, done. And because I do love that philosophy of just incorporating practice in your art.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to just do a finished piece. But I'm like, no, you have to incorporate the practice.
Are you ever gonna do, maybe not as long as a 100-day challenge, but like a painting a day challenge for a month? Or
I've actually wanted to do it again this year, of like just like a 30-day every day you're painting kind of thing, because like right now it's so you alternate of like, oh, I do a painting, then I got to do website stuff, and then I have to go to like my real job and do all this stuff. So I would love to do more like every day and painting again. So
painting a 36 by 36 every single day.
Every day.
Ooh. that
it's just pink backgrounds though.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do the Bob Ross where like he painted a whole season in like 2 days.
Wow,
3 days.
He's
2
an
days?
animal, dude.
No, he's a wizard.
He's a
An
wizard.
animal wizard, exotic pet.
with his
Little squirrel.
with a little squirrel in his
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
Little squirrel. Happy little trees and happy little clouds.
I didn't like those episodes because I wanted to see him paint, but it's just like mainly footage of him and the squirrel. It's like, what about the painting?
It's
Where's
getting
the
dry.
painting? And then they cut back to the painting. It's like halfway done. It's like, how?
And then okay, so now speaking of artists that have inspired it, like Bob Ross, the wizard. What couple artists would you like to give a shout out? I know we talked about several artists throughout the podcast that have inspired you.
Yeah.
Like, is there specific ones that you want to give a shout out to, or that you recommend other people to check out because they've inspired you?
Yeah, definitely all the ones I've mentioned before, but who are
ones?
Bryn Merrill, Aaron Hansen, Anissa Asakawa. Who else did I talk about? We'll start there. After our recording today, I'm going to go see an artist, Eric Merrill, no relation to Bryn Merrill, I don't think. He's doing some really cool stuff on the Mojave Desert. And so he's got like a little gallery show down the road somewhere. So I'm going to go check that out.
Nice.
But yeah, he does a lot of like Joshua Tree stuff and desert scenes. I'm like, okay. But yeah, he has some cool topics on like his theory of color theory and how like color is more important than value and all this stuff.
Oh,
and I'm
really?
like very intrigued by what he has to say.
One day I'll learn color theory.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that blue and yellow make blello.
Blello. That's not true.
What does it make?
Nobody knows.
Still hasn't been discovered.
It still hasn't been discovered yet.
One day.
And hopefully on the next season of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes.
That episode was hilarious. But yeah, so we'll link them in the description so you guys can check them out, follow them, and where can we see your art?
You can go to Instagram, Miranda Morehouse _art, and then my website, mirandamorehouse.com. That's where I am on the internet. Then I do little markets and stuff. And
any upcoming shows?
March 26th. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Redlands Art Walk, so do that. We'll see.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Any other final quotes or statements that you want to tell the world? Like take a shower or
go take
brush
a
your
shower.
teeth?
No, the one thing when we were talking about like beginning artist type of stuff, a thought that came to me is like allow yourself to be a beginner. Like don't like obviously strive to like build your skill, but like be where you are in the moment and just experience that and then build on it. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people do get frustrated that they're not good when they just started.
Yeah.
They're like, why am I not good as that guy? Like a lot of people like to compare themselves.
Exactly.
Compare yourself to yourself from yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. Give yourself grace and just like experiment.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you
Hopefully
for having
you enjoyed
me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was good to chat
Yes.
with you guys.
Hey.
Thank you.
You see, people, it's not scary.
It was scary.
Especially, I'm gonna cut that out. Cut. No.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
But yeah, so thank you. And again, all the links will be in the description below. Follow Miranda Morehouse _art on Instagram. Her website, mirandamorehouse.com. We are LAArtist Gallery. You've been listening to the LAArtist Podcast.
This one's called California Desert number 3. What happened to 2 and 1?
Two's right
2.
next to you.
I didn't see them.
That's not named yet. This might be number 1.
This one's number 4.
That's number 4.
Bye.
Like if you want to name it, then
Name it in the comments below.
name it in the comments below.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out.
Yes, especially on the podcast.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Bye.